Good morning, Magic. I'm Gavin Verhey from Wizards of the Coast. And recently, I decided to take a week of vacation and wedge it right between some awesome Magic events so I could go check them out. I don't know what it says about me that I work on Magic and then choose the vacation to Magic tournaments, but, well, I love Magic. I headed over to Europe to check out Pauper in Pisa, as well as Command Fest Annecy and London. What were they like? Let's take a look.
Speciale perché il primo su 2 giorni, oggi come un GP.
So Paupergeddon is a huge Pauper tournament series. There are 3 a year in Italy, and this was the first one with a 3-day structure. It felt like an old Grand Prix. Friday was side events, Saturday had the main event, and then there was a cut Sunday for the best performers. About 500 players were in the main event, bringing out players all across Italy, including Andrea Mengucci, who you might know from his streams, and Mirko Heisen-Chavada, who's on the Pauper format panel with me. And plus, there were just a ton of people there for side events, too. Including those side events, there were probably about 700 people or so, is my estimate, across the weekend. Just awesome for Pauper. Artists like Nils Hamm are here too, signing cards and talking with people, and even with this awesome exclusive playmat. And you're just in Pisa. One night was even a special celebration in the city, and fireworks lit up the night sky. It was gorgeous. Tons of great food, just a delight. Let me introduce you to a couple of the people behind Paupergeddon, like Gianluca, better known as Boost MTG.
I'm Cici.
I'm Gianluca Bose.
And what do you have to do with Paupergeddon?
Paupergeddon
Started first in
2012, 13, maybe?
2012,
Yeah.
2013,
Yeah.
I think. And we had a shop many years ago. And the first guy of the shop say me, "Oh, Gianlu, I hear a Pauper format maybe around the world, but very less voices, no more personal, not much personal. So we try to create a tournament. First tournament 6 people, second tournament 10 people, and something like this. After 3-4 months, the people around the city is very curious about the format. The city create a party of the...
Yeah, sort of Comic-Con.
Yeah, sort of little Comic-Con of the city. And, Gianluca, can you create with Cici a little tournament of random Magic format? Okay, I talk about it. I think about it. Yeah, Pauper. Oh, yeah, Pauper. Okay, Pauper. The name of the tournament, I don't know, Paupergeddon. Okay.
One of the things I think is so cool is the awesome community. Every region of Italy has its own Pauper League that all comes together for Paupergeddon. They even bring local food from their region of Italy. Like one player told me, Magic is secondary only to food here. There's a big sharing table where people share their region's food. Delicious. The metagame looked amazing. The breakdown was really varied, and even though decks like Burn, Fairies, and Synthesizer were among the most played decks, there was a ton of variety. General consensus was that the format was doing great. And it certainly looked it. Slowly, the field whittled down until only the top 8 was left. And then, the finals, Affinity versus Tron. Both great metagame choices, given the prevalence of Boros Synthesizer in the event. It's a hugely favored matchup for Tron, but don't count Affinity out. I got the chance to cast the final match.
14 points of damage here. This is it. This is the turn for Ultratron. It's got to do something here or it's going to lose.
Yes.
This is the moment.
He has to draw the final round.
Okay, he passed it to Franchini. Could this be it? Could we see Paupergeddon end right here with Affinity win in a match it's extremely unfavored in? Let's see what happens. Here we go. Crunch in. Take your beats. Here comes 12 points of damage. Or 14 points of damage, rather. 14.
Yes.
Got
Yeah,
Galvanic
the last
Blast.
one.
He goes to 1.
And
Here's the moment. Galvanic Blast. Is that the game? There it is! Franchini takes it down a match.
On Sunday, I went 6-1-1 in a large side event, and it's nice to know that you still got it sometimes. There's not a lot of footage from this day because I was just slammed, busy playing, talking with people, streaming. I had almost no time. It was a really incredible event, and a huge thanks to all the players. If you're in Europe, be sure to check out the next one later this year. Then I took a few days of vacation, just enjoying Italy and seeing the sights. Hey, it's the Leaning Tower of Pisa. I think I'm just a leaning mine and power plant of Pisa away from the Pisatron now. and it was time to bounce over to Annecy. Annecy is in France, and it's one of the most gorgeous places I've ever been to for a Magic tournament. I took the bus down from Geneva and was immediately blown away. In fact, so much so that I decided to do this tour where a local drove me and one other person who signed up for it in this awesome old car to see the Lake Annecy from all directions. We zoomed up roads and enjoyed the breeze and caught the view. Simply unreal. I'll be back for a full vacation sometime. But Saturday was the day of the event. It's so cool to go to a Command Fest in another country. You get to meet different players, see different decks, and of course, get a variety of artists. There was a great cadre there, like David Alvarez, Olivier Bernard, Johan Greiner, and the legendary Magali, who always had a huge line. Also, check out these deck boxes by a local vendor. So cool. One thing that was neat is that in France, there's a popular Commander variant, Dual One-on-One Commander. They fired off an about 80-person dual Commander tournament for that right away. You get to see cards you never really see in normal Commander, and strategies like Burn, which was so interesting. I also got to do a pair of mystery booster drafts. The way these worked is that I drafted and then played everybody in one-game matches. If they beat me, they won a pack. I drafted this sweet Grixis deck in my first draft and then went 7-0 with it. But my second draft was a pretty rough Boros deck that I wasn't that excited about. That said, I still managed to narrowly squeak out the 7-0 again. Phew, great games. And of course, the main event, Commander. It wouldn't be a Command Fest without also jamming some games of that too, right? I ended the night by grabbing dinner with some of the French content creators. It's so fantastic to get to meet people who help make their regions awesome. These are some of the people behind Sol Ring, a Commander gameplay show for France. Check it out.
De Alvar de Magic C'est Chic, à Dibou, Joël ou Bandy esquivera le Carolina Reaper. La réponse dans cette nouvelle partie de Commander, évidemment.
Then it was a very short night before waking up, grabbing a flight, and heading to London for their Command Fest. Welcome to the United Kingdom, London, and Twickenham Rugby Stadium, where Command Fest UK is taking place. And this is pretty awesome. I've been to a lot of Magic events. I have never been to one at a rugby stadium. Check it out. This is so cool. Now, that's just rad. Plenty of people were there, including artist Titus Lunter, backed by the power of Urza Saga here, as well as content creators like Pleasant Kenobi, piloting, of course, White in Commander, with some sweet cards to boot. And then before I knew it, it was time for some more Mystery Booster, but this time, Two-Headed Giant. My other head, none other than caster Will Hall. We built up a pair of decks with plays as sweet as Eldritch Evolution for Elishnorn and, the big one, Squirrel Wrangler plus Gruesome Fate. It hits each opponent, and we dinged our opponents for 16 damage with this card. Yowza. My deck, in comparison, was a lot more tame, but it was a blast, and we pulled out the 3-0 as well. I ran a Q&A for players that went great, where I answered their burning questions, helped run a trivia contest, and of course, got in a few games of Commander. Hey, it's a Command Fest. Before I knew it, my time in the day was up, and it was time to head back and head home. There's nothing quite like travel, and I'm so glad to have had the chance to make this trip. Thanks to everybody I met along the way for all the great questions and games, and I'll see you next time, like at MagicCon Barcelona next month. I can't wait. I'll talk with you again soon, and until then, may you see Magic in a new place. You got this. A little strange. One of the first big things you learn about Magic after you grasp the basics is that there's always a chance to respond to a spell or ability. I cast Lightning Bolt, you cast Giant Growth. I tap a Prodigal Sorcerer to kill your Sakura Tribe Elder. You can respond by sacrificing it for a land. You make the decision to do something,